Hello, grade 10s, and welcome. I'm your host, Mr. T, and I'm excited to be presenting to you a new topic that is equations. And under this topic, we're going to be looking at video number 1, which is dealing with how to solve for linear equations. So, when solving for an unknown variable, these are the steps that we generally take when solving for an unknown. Step number 1 involves simplifying the given equation. But how do we simplify it? There are two sub-steps involved. The first involves removal of brackets, followed by converting it into a linear form. Thereafter, you need to move to step number 2, which involves collection of like terms, at times called grouping of like terms. Thereafter, you move on to the third and last steps, which involves isolating a variable, or at times you make that variable that you're looking for the subject of the formula. Let's apply these steps when solving the following example. You are given an equation and they want you to solve for x. But before we solve for x, it's important for you to realize that any negative that is in front of a bracket is a pitfall. It's a danger warning sign. You've got to treat it with care. So that negative in front of the bracket, you've got to be aware of that negative in front of the bracket. So let's just solve it. So we're going to say 2x minus 2 minus 3 plus x is equal to 2x plus 1. Thereafter, we've just removed the brackets. Thereafter, we're going to group the like terms. We're going to take all the x's and write them on the left-hand side and all the constants on the right-hand side. So we're going to have on the left-hand side 2x plus x minus 2. That is equivalent to 1 plus 2 plus 3. Then solving for x, we're going to have x is equals to 6. If you want to verify that the value that you've calculated for x is true, you can substitute that 6 in the very original equation or the very first step. The left-hand side must equate the right-hand side if that is a true value. But we're not going to do that in the interest of time. So let's move on to number 2 or part B. In part B, you're given that equation. Notice on the left-hand side, you've got 2x minus 1, and that is squared. So you can rewrite that through expanding it, and notice and check the left-hand side. The 2x minus 1, which was originally squared, can be written in its expanded form as 2 brackets multiplying each other. That is just basic. Thereafter, we move on to an important step that we learned in algebra. What is that step? It's expanding whatever you've been given. But how do we expand it? Remember, FOIL. We're going to FOIL the left-hand side and the right-hand side. And if we do it correctly, we're going to get 4x squared minus 2x minus 2x plus 1 on the left. And that should be equivalent to 4x squared minus 6x plus 6x minus 9 on the right-hand side. Thereafter, we simplify the left-hand side and the right-hand side respectively to get 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equals to 4x squared minus 9. Notice on both sides of the equations we've got 4x squared, which are both positive, so we can do away with them through just cancelling them. Afterwards, we're going to say negative 4x is equals to negative 9 minus 1. We are grouping like terms, or we've just grouped like terms. Thereafter, we just simplify where possible. We're going to have negative 4x is equals to negative 10. Then we immediately divide both sides by negative 4. And after we divide both sides by negative 4, we're going to get our x value to be, x will be equivalent to 5 over 2 or 2,5. I hope you enjoyed that video. Look out for the next one. Bye-bye.